Good evening, everyone. On this Thursday night, I just want to express of what I've been experiencing and what I've been seeing, which is great. I think there's a lot of good things coming up, and have been. I can at least say that I'm very proud that I've been in the beauty industry all these years, and what I'm seeing is people standing up and expressing their truth and things that have happened to them. And things are starting, and all over, things are starting to come to light that have been going on. And it's time. It's time. And I'm very proud of everyone that's speaking out in all the stories on Instagram and everybody supporting everyone. It's really important. It's like, back in the day, when I was 18 and went into hairdressing, and it happened even before then. I didn't know any better. And so you tolerate a lot of things. Even though it doesn't feel right, it's like, oh my God, next thing you know, am I going to lose my job? So you feel like you're kind of, you've got to go with it. But to a certain degree, I've seen a lot of misuse, abuse go on in the workplace, and myself included, and a couple of incidences with, I've been over the shampoo sink, and my client, a guy, grabs me by the ass, and it's like, okay, so my boss, well, so they kind of cover it up a little bit and go, and then, and not supportive of it right away, and that's wrong. Okay, you got to stand up for your people when you see a situation like that. It's like, come on, seriously. I mean, I would have kicked him right out of my salon. You know, I I never would put my girls in a situation like that. And if that happened, it'd be happen only once, and they'd be right out of there. Nobody should be tolerating that. I don't care how much money you want to make, and you don't want to refuse a client. You have to support your people. In the 19 years that I've been a salon owner, I would never. I mean, because I experienced it firsthand. Would I ever have my girls go through that? If they felt uncomfortable, doing someone's hair, would I make them do it? No, I wouldn't. But we were made to back in the day, by our bosses. They come in, you can't refuse them. You have to do it. And it's very it's a disgusting way to live when you experience that. And especially, we have a situation where we have licenses, so we have to have them out on our stations. We have to, according to the state board. Well, when I became salon owner, that changed, because on there is all your information. Okay, I don't think that's right. And next thing you know, you've got some psychopath in your chair. Excuse me for saying that, but some people are, and they get your address, and then they decide to come stalk you. And that it shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to be right out there in the open. And I've been threatened to be fined, and I'm like, just go ahead, try it. I'll fight it. It's wrong. It's downright wrong. So I see a lot of it happens in a lot of the industries. So if you own a business, stand up for your people. Support them. If they're feeling uncomfortable, hear them out. It's probably for a really, obviously, really, really good reason. Nobody should be putting up with any abuse of any kind. Verbally, sexually, any of that. And it's just, it doesn't take much to let that go. I mean, before you know it, it escalates and escalates. So you have to, kind of nip it in the bud right when it happens. So I'm glad that beauty industry, they're all standing up and hearing their stories of what has happened to them. There's a lot of competition, okay? And there's competition in a lot of industries. let me get, to get their way up. There's a lot of, I think there's a program, Mean Girls. There's a lot of mean girls. And there's a lot of, and I'm not going to men bash, but there's men that overstep their boundaries and are abusive also. And that has happened. And I've seen it that firsthand too. So, enough's enough. I think everybody's coming together and standing up and supporting one another, which is very important. And it's really looking very positive for the future that, everybody stand together and not be in duality, support each other, don't feel like you have to be in competition, and if you're going through something hard and you've been in, any abusive situations, get the help you need. There's a lot of help out there and there's nothing wrong with it. I've had to do it. I've had to go in a woman's, well, I don't know if it's a women's shelter. It was more of, kind of was. But anyway, so you hear other people's stories and testimonies, so you're not going crazy. Because a lot of that's going on. Then you get the gaslighting and then you get the gang stalking. And, nobody needs to put up with that at all nowadays. Back in the day, you're afraid to speak up. Now's the time. It's like now's the time where, you're going to set straight for the future how you want to be treated, what you want to allow in your life, and what you don't want to allow in your life. So if you, letting go of all those patterns, letting go of all those behaviors that you've allowed, and having faith in yourself, and really, working on yourself to build your self-esteem. So you don't run into that, because what you emanate out there usually comes your way, and, you're going to be treated the way you feel inside, because that's what you're emanating out. So that's very important for us to keep working on ourselves, keep moving forward, support each other. It's really important, especially now where people really, some people are having a hard time. If they're having a hard time, help them, and support your people. I can't say that enough. My girls, I would never put them in situations where they felt uncomfortable. If they did, they call me and I go right down there, and I would never leave them alone with someone if they felt uncomfortable. I would, back in the day, I didn't have that support. But so much is moved forward in humanity, and we've experienced so much that by now I think everybody knows what's acceptable and what isn't acceptable, and how you should behave and not behave. So it's time. I think it's really time for everyone to step up to the plate, and it like even yesterday I was leaving work and I was trying to get out of the parking lot, and this policeman parks right behind my car. Exactly, I couldn't move. I'm like, what the heck, right? And he's just sitting there, and I'm like, excuse me, could you move your vehicle? And he gives me a look, and he gets out of the car and he starts staring at my license plate. I'm like, okay, you need to take a picture or what? I said, I need to really get going. I said, I have a mother home that's bedridden that I need to get to, and I don't know why you don't move. And he just gave me a direct. See, it's stuff like that. It's like that's a typical gang stalking move, which I experienced that anyway. I'm kind of like used to that, and how I can handle it. And it used to bother me and get me angry, and I'm not letting that. I'm not going there anymore. I'm done with it. This is ridiculous. And it's situations like that give police a bad rap. And there's good policemen out there. My dad was one. So he was one of the good guys. And there's like I said, there's still a lot of good ones out there. I'm trying to move the camera because I'm getting glares everywhere. And I'm getting orbs here and there too. So anyway, I guess that's a better angle to do it at. So, if you're in the workplace and you're being, mistreated, don't tolerate it. Don't tolerate it. I've seen it throughout the years, and I'm just so glad that, that people are feeling comfortable to stand up. And I say people because men get abused also. Let's face it, there's women out there that, you know, abuse men, browbeat them, or whatever you want to call it, stalk them, or whatever. It goes for both, you know. And I'm not trying to pick on men here. You know, it all goes down to how you feel inside with yourself. So, you know, get the help, build your self esteem. Let's all move forward, move out of duality, and all come together and support each other. You know, just support each other and not feel like you have to be against everybody and compete. I was a competitive figure skater, and that's one thing I've had to work on because I was trained very well at it to be competitive. And I don't like that about myself, that I have to always like be an overachiever. I always have to, you know, feel like I got to compete. And I got to let that go. So I'm working on that. And we all have stuff we need to work on. So just keep moving forward. Great things are coming our way. Okay. And just don't give up. And I'm really proud of everyone that's standing up and telling their stories and speaking their truth. And then you can let it go. And then it won't happen again. But we have to let it go. Okay. We have to let it go, let it heal, and move forward. Well, I want to thank everyone for listening and have a good night on that thought. Stay positive. Stay positive, and we'll all move forward together through all this chaos. Thank you. Bye.